Hi everyone, welcome back. First of all, I want to welcome everyone who has recently subscribed to my channel. In the past week, I've somehow managed to reach over 1,000 subscribers. 7 days ago, I was just below 100. So I don't know how all of you found me, but thank you so much for watching my videos and subscribing. And thank you especially to those who have left really lovely and supportive comments. It's been quite overwhelming to have my channel grow so quickly in such a short span of time. So if you've left me a kind and sweet comment, just know that I'm really grateful for it, so thank you again. I've also been getting a lot of questions about how I can own a HDB at 25 years old, so I'll be making a video about that, explaining in greater detail the full story and also the process of buying a resale flat. It's quite info heavy, so it's taking me a while to plan out and record. Please be patient and I hope to upload it soon. If this is your first time to my channel, I'm glad to have you here. This video will be a bit different from my more popular videos, but nevertheless, I do want to make it for my own documentation and record of the goals that I set out for myself this year. If you've seen my How I Budget My Salary video, that would be the big general overview, and in these videos that I plan on making every month, you get to see how I put into practice the outline and the structure that I talk about in that video on a monthly basis. I would have made a video last month at the end of January where I go through what I spend in January and plan my budget for February, but my mic was having issues so I couldn't record that video as planned. So instead, I'll combine my January and February spending in this video and then go through my budget for March. I'll only go through the spending I made with my sinking fund, which is the money I put aside every month for my fun, non-essential spending. So this doesn't include necessities like food, bills, groceries. It's just things that I buy for fun. I won't go into too much detail about my sinking fund here, because I already made a video about my low buy year. I'll link it below so you can watch it if you're interested, because I go into greater detail about the rules and the budget that I set out for myself in that video. I'll bring you into my money tracker app on my phone so you can see the transactions that I've written down. I'll sort by category so it'll be easier to see rather than chronologically. Okay, we'll start from the top. So in January, I spent $3.70 on pens, then $6.75 on makeup, and about $31 on home decor. Going back to my entertainment category here, I forgot to take into account my entertainment subscriptions when I came up with my sinking fund, specifically my Netflix subscription that is about $10 every month. So starting in February, I will start to count my Netflix subscription into my sinking fund. For Disney Plus and Spotify, I've budgeted for the yearly subscriptions since last year, so they're not counted in my $50 sinking fund budget for this month. Another thing to note is, because I set myself the rule of only spending my sinking fund money after the 25th of the month, which I call the spending window, I technically did not adhere to that rule. If you see here under home decor, I spent $1 on a postcard print on the 1st of January, and the reason is because I forgot about my spending window. My friend had commissioned a lovely piece of digital artwork and I wanted to put it up on my wall, so I went to get it printed. And it was only after I paid for the printing that I remembered that this is considered a sinking fund spend. So yeah, it was just a lapse of memory on my part about my own rules, since it was literally the start of the year. I'm not going to be too hard on myself about such a small thing. Okay, on to February spending. There is the $10 for Netflix, $6.70 on more photo prints, but it was for a gift, $3 for plant pot sauces, and about $4 in total for personal care items, and $8.50 for a phone case. Again, I didn't fully adhere to the spending window for some purchases. To justify, $6.70 was for a gift, which was time sensitive, and the $3 for the plant pot sauces was out of convenience. I knew that I needed them since January and I happened to already be at the store that sells them, So I texted my accountability buddies just to let them know, and I got them. I guess I could have put this in the household tools category, which would then take it out of my sinking fund spending, but I didn't want to consider my little houseplant hobby as a household necessity, so I'd rather use my sinking fund money for it. The $2 for the Innisfree powder puff was also time sensitive. My existing powder puff was really gross and dirty, and I still needed to use the powder, right? But now that I think about it, if only I had been a little more patient, I could have just washed my existing powder puff and waited a couple days for it to dry. So lesson learned and point taken. But a big ticket expense that was completely unexpected though, and I had to use my emergency funds, was my mother's new mattress. So what happened was, my mother realized her current mattress, which is the foldable floor mattress kind, very thin, it was giving her a lot of back pain and body aches. For the past year since we moved, she hasn't been sleeping on a proper coil mattress, and we didn't think to get one because we already had a sofa bed and another foldable mattress that we stack on top of it. So when we realized this, I decided that it's just not worth to cheap out on a good mattress, especially for my mother who is a lot older and needs that back support. And mattresses are one of those things where you really get what you pay for. After browsing some places, we decided on a mattress from Sleepy Night, which was $1,400 for a super single size, and then I bought a custom storage bed frame for it for $600. My mother had some savings, so she paid for the bed frame, and I paid for the rest using our emergency funds. What's the moral of the story here? Never cheap out on a good mattress because you only have one bag. And also, I'm very grateful that I have this emergency fund to dip into because otherwise it would have been so stressful. $2,000 is almost 2/3 of my entire salary, and it's not like I can let my mother sleep on a bed mattress. So while $2,000 is painful to part with, this is also what the emergency fund is for. To summarize, the first 2 months of my low-buy year has been quite successful so far, or at least I'd like to think so. I found a bit of flexibility with the spending window, but I also trust myself not to abuse this flexibility. I do still find myself exhibiting the shopping behaviors that I really want to overcome, like the knee-jerk reaction to want to buy something when I'm feeling down or bored. Shopping is a coping mechanism for me to feel like I'm in control or to feel like I can fix things by spending money. And while in some cases the spending is the solution, like my mother's mattress for example, most times it isn't. The past 2 spending windows in January and February, I've noticed something. The entire months before my spending window, I am waiting excitedly for it, adding things to my cart, telling my accountability buddies what I want to buy, and then when the 25th of the month comes around, I don't buy anything. One example is I spent the entire month researching different moisturizers to buy, scrolling on Shopee to compare prices and reading reviews. I was so excited for it. And then when I could finally spend the money, I didn't feel that excited anymore. And so I think I'm simply not gonna buy that moisturizer this month. So for myself, what I've realized about my own psychology behind the act of spending money, it's all driven by emotion. Whether it's to give me a sense of control or a sense of peace, like I'm doing something, what I buy, my purchase, it's a tangible result of how I've spent my time. So for instance, I find myself thinking, if I'm doom scrolling on Shopee and I didn't buy anything, did I waste all that time scrolling and browsing if I have nothing to show for it? And thinking back even further, maybe this is why I used to buy backups of things. I am buying things I already own that I haven't finished, and it's not like that particular item will be in scarcity anytime soon. If I have half a bottle of shampoo, why do I need to buy another bottle of shampoo as backup so soon? Like, will supermarkets run out of shampoo? Like, yes, sometimes there's a good deal or a discount, but why? Like, why do I have to buy it right now? Why can't I just wait? I don't know if this is relatable or even relevant to you, or if you're watching right now, you're probably wondering, what the heck is she talking about? Why need to overthink and overanalyze until like that? Well, I like to, I want to be more in control of my actions and understand the reasons behind why I act a certain way, especially if those actions have always been impulsive and unthinking. I know that there are worse coping mechanisms in the world, I'm sure, but since my goal and the goal of this channel is to be more financially aware, I'd like to work on shifting my mindset towards other coping mechanisms and skills beyond the act of shopping and spending money. Thank you for listening to my rant. Now I'll move on to my March budget, which honestly is going to be pretty similar to the last time I did it. Here is my spreadsheet for my March budget. First, I'll go in and update the date here to the 27th of Feb, which is today. And then I'll zoom in here so you can see better. Oh yes, I should mention, I did get a pay raise after I uploaded that video about how I budget my 3.2k salary video. I mentioned it in my 2022 money goals video, but if you didn't watch that, I'm telling you now that my salary is 3.5k. I'll scroll down slowly so you can see how much I'm allocating for each category. For the most part, nothing has changed. I'm allocating slightly more now for electricity. Previously it was $30, but I'm increasing it to $40 now based on last month's bill. The cost of my therapy has also gone down to $150, where previously it was $180. My variable expenses budget hasn't changed from January, so it's gonna stay the same. Where my pay raise has made the most difference is in my allocations to my savings and investments. If you've seen my 2022 money goals video, these numbers would look quite familiar to you. And that's really it for my budget. So what I usually do is, when my salary comes in next month around the 5th of March, I'll input all these numbers into the Money Lover app, the expense tracker app that I use. I'll link the app in the description below. That's it for today's video. It's a more reflective one for sure. I'll be back to regular-ish programming in my next video about getting a HDB. Do share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.